Y'all, today you're gonna find out what I'm really made of. Welcome to my tunnel. Welcome to A Gardener's Journey Homestead. I am Barbara if you are new here, and y'all got something in store for y'all today, especially if you have not been around for the long haul. Then this might be your first time seeing me do this, but I'm so excited that you are here. I'm out in my tunnel, and before I get into what we're about to do, because we're about to do something big, I want to show you how my fall crops are looking. I've uncovered everything because we're going to need them uncovered for what we're about to do. So I thought I would at least let you see how the fall crops are doing. I've uncovered it. They've all been covered up for over a week now. They are looking really, really good. I just watered, I just fertilized, and then we're going to put our finishing touch on it, and then we're going to cover them back up so they can go to sleep, night-night, bed, until all the insects decide to leave. So if you are brand new here, I live in Tennessee in Zone 7B. And if you watch my previous videos, you'll see how I've transitioned my tunnel from our summer garden to our fall garden. So I walked you through that process of how we got everything out, how we planted, how we covered and protected, and are protecting our fall crops until they get to a big enough size and or the insects leave, because we still have some peer pressure out here. So you'll see that if you watch the previous videos. But let me turn you around so that you can see how the seedlings are looking. I'm telling you, y'all, this is the key. I'm not saying it's foolproof, but I'm telling you it works a lot better than when I didn't do it this way. When I did not have my crops covered by this point, like especially a week, 2 weeks in, they were looking real bad. But let me show you what these look like. Okay, y'all, this is bed number one. From the left to the right, there's cabbage, there's bunching onions, more cabbage, bunching onions, and then those are Brussels sprouts, if I'm not mistaken. They are looking really, really good and healthy so far, so I'm glad about that. Let's move over to this bed right here. On the right are two different kinds of lettuces. In the middle is red cabbage, and to the far left it is green cabbage. If y'all remember, probably 2 or 3 videos ago, I showed you this lettuce. This was the first thing that I put in the ground for fall, and I showed you how pitiful it was looking. Look at it now. Look at it now. So it is growing very nicely. Now let's move over to this bed. This bed is cauliflower. All is looking well. I got 2 in the back that you can see right there that don't look quite as healthy. They look a little puny, but that's okay because I still have some extra ones that I can put in here if those don't do well. We'll give it another week or so and see if they perk up. But that could be transplant shock. That could just be that one. Those 2 were not as healthy, but overall looking good. Let's go across the way. This bed is our bok choy. And the back of the bed are herbs like rosemary and lavender, but we planted this bed with bok choy. It is looking great, growing nicely. This bed here, the 2 rows on the right are carrots that we planted together probably about a month ago, and then what you see coming up in the second from the left row are radishes. And radish seeds are pretty small. This is the daikon radish. They germinated quickly and good. I've already had to thin them out. I'm going to have to thin them out some more because they're really, really close together. And then I planted some carrots to the far left. They are barely coming up, but you can see a few of them. This is our last bed. This bed has some lettuce on the far right. Then we have cilantro second from the right, and then we have our kale. We have a row of green kale, and then we have a row of red kale, and all of that is looking good. Okay, so overall I am pleased with how things are looking so far. So let's get to the business. Let's get to what we're going to do today. So we're going to put in a finishing touch today, and today I'm going to be adding worms to my beds. Yes. Now, I told you at the beginning, you're going to see what I'm really made of. Now, I did this for the first time 2 years ago. I will try to find that video and link it up here because you're going to want to see it. Your girl, look, that was my first time. And to say I was like nervous and just not feeling it at all, is an understatement. And so it's been 2 years. I've noticed that my worm activity has gone down. And so I went back and looked at my order. I'm like, okay, it's been 2 years since I ordered it. And the lifespan of a worm is generally 12 to 18 months. So that's about right. Now, why do I want to put worms in my garden? Y'all, worms are good for the soil. It's great for the microbial activity. It helps fertilize your plants. It does a really good job. They just, I don't know, it's something about getting a whole bag of worms and putting your hands in it. And then we're going to have on gloves. Trust and believe. Something about putting your hands in there and doing it. Now, the reason why I say you're going to find out what I'm made of is because when I placed the order this week, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not afraid of worms. I've been gardening for 4 years now. It ain't no big deal. It ain't no big deal at all. Like, I got this, right? But when they showed up, when those worms showed up this week and I went and got that package, now y'all, the box is sealed. But something about, I'm like, I didn't even want it in my car. I drove it down here to the tunnel so fast and dropped it right over there off on that table. I'm like, I don't want to have worms around, carrying around in my car. So it's one thing to talk big when it's not there, but when it arrives, you see what you really made of. Now, I'm going to try to hold it together and be cool because I'm going to take the high road. This is for the garden. This is for our future food, right? So let me tell you all this before I get the worms, because once I get the worms, I'm going to have to focus. I'm going to have to focus. So I got the worms from Uncle Jim's worm farm. Yes, online. That's where I got them 2 years ago. And I got the red wigglers. And then I think I also got, no, I think I just got red wigglers is all I got. They're really tiny. I don't even remember how many I ordered. I'll have to look it up, put it up here at the top. This is the moment of truth. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my gloves, get the worms, and we're just going to put a little bit in each bed. That is what we're going to do. Now, the thing about it is, when you're planting plants and you're digging up the soil, you see worms, and it doesn't even faze me anymore. Like, I see the worm, and I'm like, I just put it back and cover it back up with dirt. Like, so that's why I thought, I'm good. But when I got a whole box of worms, I'm like, I think there's still some city in me. Or maybe, I don't know what it is. But, y'all, I'm talking and I'm stalling. Let's go get these worms, okay? Let me go get my gloves and let's get a trowel and let's get us a plan. Okay. Let's see how we're going to do this. Okay. They come in a box like this. It has holes in it so they can breathe. And when they ship them and you get them within 48 hours. Now, when they ship them, they are okay to last in the packaging up to 10 days. But if you're not going to plant them right away, it'll tell you to add some water and I think a tablespoon of cornmeal. I don't know what that does, but I ain't added nothing. These just came yesterday, so I figure they'll be okay. Let's see. Okay, so you get this little notice. It says your worms have been shipped in dry peat moss. If the worms seem small and scrawny, this is normal. It has been an average of 4 days since they've had food or water. They will regain their original size and strength within 2 days as long as they receive the instructed amount of hydration. Okay. It says your worms will bounce back 100% after being introduced to a moist environment and proper nourishment. If not, contact us within 48 hours of delivery. Okay. Let's see. Okay. It says you can place them in the center of your garden, sprinkle with water, and cover them with moist newspaper, peat moss, or top soil. Okay. And it says the worms grow and multiply. They can double their population every 90 days. And no, you cannot have too many worms, it says. Okay. Y'all, last time my husband was down here with me. He ain't down here this time. Y'all, why did I do this? Why did I do this? That's what it looks like. Okay, y'all, it's the moment of truth. I'm just gonna dig up a little spot and Now I can't remember how I did this the last time. Let's see. Woo. That might have been too much. Meaning I need to have some for all the beds. Okay, let me show you the things we do for food. That is what it looks like. Ah! Woo! Okay, y'all. Hold on, let me get y'all in here. Y'all, I didn't put them just down in there without even digging something. Oh, okay. That was a mistake. Okay. Let's go to the next bed. Let's dig. I can't remember how many I ordered. I'm just putting a handful. Covering them up. Okay. A little tree branch. They're moving, so they're definitely alive. But they look scrawny, for sure. Probably should have done that one deeper. Oh. Let me know if any of y'all have done this before. Like you purposely bought worms.
I got a question for you while you're doing that.
Yep.
So when you put them down in the ground, what's next? Do you have to water the dirt so that they can, okay.
Yeah, you need to water them so they can be moist. And they'll go in there and start eating. Okay. Oh, I can make sure it's moist enough. Okay, I still got worms left. Guess I can put some over here. Not that the comfort needs any help, because she is
all over the place.
Yes. Okay. I still got a few, so I guess I can put some down in the.
Well, you have the plum, whatever those trees are. I don't know.
The blueberry trees.
Okay.
The thing is hard to get in here.
Yeah.
So I got a plant.
True.
That's probably a bad idea.
Yeah. I don't think that's probably going to work out too good.
Yeah, I'm going to have to wet that. Okay, I'll just put the rest in the beds.
Here we go.
Okay, y'all, last bed. Woo! Goodness. A few more. I'll just go to another spot. And of course, they're gonna grow, they're gonna multiply, they'll fill the whole bed. And they'll wake up usually in 48 hours. I'll dig and then I'll start seeing them. Okay, y'all, that's it. We did it. Now I'm gonna cover these beds back up. And They are good to grow. Okay, y'all, my husband is watering the worms in. Okay, I did better than I did the last time, I think. I probably have to go back and watch the video to make sure. It's one thing to see a worm in the bed while you planting something. You just move it kind of, move it out of the way. But it's another thing when they just all in your hand. I had a glove on, and they just moving all around. It's just something about that. I think it just messed with my mind. But worms are good for the bed. Now, you may say, Barbara, you didn't went way past me. I'm not doing it. And I get it. I understand. You can go get you some worm composting. You can go get you some worm tea. There's many other ways to get it done. I'm not saying that you have to do this way. I'm just saying that this is a way to get it done. And I did it 2 years ago, and I feel like it really, really helped. And I did it those 2 years ago because I was actually talking to a gardener, and they encouraged me to do it. And they were talking about what good success they had. So for the first time, I just tried it for the first time. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. No problem. And kind of just rose to the challenge. And it did well. I had a lot of worm activity. I felt like it really helped my soil. And you know, I'm big about soil health, because you're not feeding your plants, you're feeding your soil. And healthy soil equals healthy plants. Good soil equals good plants, and it equals abundance. So you want to do that. Like I said, you don't have to do it this way. This is just a way. But I do want to challenge you, if you're not as queasy, squeamish as me, then go on and order you some worms. You may be like, girl, come on, you got on a glove. So if you're of that level, order you some worms. Put your credit card to your mouth and order you some worms. If you like, sis, I have been with you up until this point, but I cannot go further with you on this, I understand. But I do appreciate you watching this video, and you're gonna keep on watching. You're gonna see how my stuff is going to flourish, because we didn't added us another layer. It's like the cherry on top. It's like worm tea is like a byproduct. Worm castings is like a byproduct. We done got the actual worm in the bed, so we're gonna get all of it. The tea, the castings, we're gonna get all of the stuff, and it's all good, helping with organic matter. Now, like I said, I did this 2 years ago. It's not something I do every season, and I don't plan on doing it every season. I probably will do it just like this, like every couple of years. When I start to see, as I was planting my fall stuff, I noticed I did not see a lot of worms, versus in times past, I'm like, oh, I just see worms, crawling and going and all that good stuff. This time I didn't see that. So I was like, I might need to up the ante. So that's what I did. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cover the beds back. Let me show you this one other thing before we go. I want to show you this other clip that my husband bought. So I showed you this little small silver clips that I bought to secure the bed. These my husband bought at Home Depot. They're 99 cents. They're bigger, tougher, stronger, and this is what he uses on the side of the bed to keep the cover down. So this week we've had a lot of rain, and we've had a lot of high winds. And so I've come out here sometimes, and my covers have kind of been not completely off, but partially off, because of the little small stainless steel ones. They're not real heavy. They keep it in place if everything is still, but this is going to help secure it more. Now, my husband likes these because he has big hands and he can press it, but y'all, like me, it takes 2 hands for me to press it open. So I don't care for these in terms of just me using them, just because I don't have the strength to it's just harder. The other ones are real easy. So you can use a combination of both, the small ones or the big ones. But I at least wanted to show you this, and you can just go to your local Home Depot. What is this called? 2-inch spring clamp by Anvil. 99 cents at the depot. So let me cover these beds and put everything back the way it was. All beds covered just the way they were before. Okay, y'all, we got it done. Worms are in, watered, moistened, whatever you want to say. The plants are watered, fertilized, covered back up. So all should be well. I'm praying on this part back here because I just haven't had time to get it done. I have a flight early in the morning, so it's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. My husband may get it done while I'm gone, but it's usually easier with 2 people. But if it can just hold on for a few days, I'll get to it when I get back. So I pray that the Lord protects the crops and that all is well. What we have been doing when the temperatures have been low, like it's been 50s at night, earlier this week, we've been closing the tunnel. Of course, it's open during the day. So if something wanted to get in, it could certainly come in the daytime. But you know, a lot of times animals will try to come in at nighttime. Tonight it's not going to be that cool, so I'm going to have to leave it open. Yeah, but anyway, that's the gamble we take. I do have a whole nother tray over there. Let me show you my tray of seedlings. Oh, I forgot, they're in the house. They're in the house. Well, I can't show you these. This is the tray that I had left over. You can see they look so good. I'm actually gifting these to a friend, but the tray that I was talking about is actually in my house, so I can't show you that one. So the ones I just showed you here, they're ready to go in the ground. I gifted to a friend, and so she's going to take those. But I have a whole nother tray in the house that are not as big as those that'll be ready in 2 to 3 weeks. So worst case scenario, they can go out there. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me today in my garden. It's always a pleasure. Remember, gardening is a journey. Let's grow together. I'll see you next time, friend.